Okay, at this time, I would like to return to open session, and I do want to announce that due to a little power glitch, we're unable to live stream. Is that still true, Bobby? So it will be recorded and uploaded tomorrow, but there will be no live stream tonight due to the power glitch that we had. And if we could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. That wasn't an agenda modification, right? You already did. Okay. Okay, we don't have any agenda modifications. So can I get a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
Second.
Just a reminder, you got to push your button here. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 5.1, upcoming events. Oof, there's a lot of them. Wednesday, June 24th, K through 5, early release, all elementaries. C building schedule for early release times. Ralph R. Smith, moving up day at Ralph R. Smith at 10 a.m. Violet Ave, moving up day at Violet Ave, 10 a.m. Haviland Middle School, moving up day at Haviland, 6 to 8 p.m. Thursday, June 25th, K through 8, early release, all elementaries and middle school, C building schedules for early release times. Netherwood, moving up day, that'll be at Netherwood at 10 a.m. North Park Elementary, moving up day, that'll be at North Park at 9:30 a.m. Rain date for Haviland Middle School, only if 6/24 is rained out, and that'll be at Haviland, and that'll be 6 to 8 p.m., only if it's rained out on the 24th. June 26th, last day of school, all elementaries and middle school, C building schedules for early release times. K through 8 early release, so C are buildings for early release schedules. And then FDR graduation will be at the Oval Office starting at 6 p.m. And the gym will be the rain location, so if it gets rained out, we'll move it into the gym. Monday, June 29th to July 2nd, Camp Invention Session 1 runs Monday through Thursday at North Park Elementary, and that'll be 8:15 to 2:30. Friday, July 3rd is a holiday, all buildings closed. Monday, July 6th through August 20th, summer meal program runs Monday through Thursday, 2 sessions. Breakfast will be served 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Lunch will be served 12 to 12:30. Monday, July 6th through July 23rd. Summer Bridge starts, runs Monday through Thursday. Haviland Middle School, grades 6 through 8, will begin at 8 a.m. North Park Elementary for elementary students will begin at 8:30 a.m. Monday, July 6th through August 13th. Summer school runs Monday through Thursday. FDR, grades 9 through 12, will begin at 8 a.m. Thursday, July 9th is our next board meeting, which is our reorg meeting. That'll be at district office, and open session will begin at 7 p.m. And that's it on here. Anybody have anything else? Okay. Moving on to Pride. Lauren, your last one.
FDR would like to give a shout out to all graduating seniors. They are looking forward to a great graduation ceremony this Friday that celebrates the class of 2026. Haviland wants to give a big shout out to their PTA for making the end of the year memorable for their 8th grade students. Kindergarteners at North Park celebrated their year of growth with their kindergarten celebration on June 23rd, and they are excited to celebrate their 5th graders moving up to Haviland Middle School on June 25th. Ralph R. had their field day and Return to the Nest events last Wednesday. Today, their kindergarteners had an end-of-year celebration with their 5th grade moving up ceremony taking place tomorrow. Several other classrooms have hosted end-of-year awards, and they want to thank their PTA for their ongoing support of all these events. Lastly, on behalf of Ralph R. Smith, Mr. Darling would like to thank special education teacher Catherine Pitcher and their school nurse Heather Duncan, who are both retiring this year. They will be missed. At Violet Avenue, Mrs. Ellis's ENL students have completed family culture projects with their families and presented them to the other ENL students and their ENL end-of-year celebration. During HMH Module 10 in 4th grade, students explored the museum book by Jan Mark and learned how museums share information through exhibits. Students created their own museum exhibit projects and had the opportunity to present their exhibits. Their color run was amazing. They had more than 100 students participate, along with even more family members. They want to thank Moose Scoops for providing the ice cream, and to all the faculty and staff who helped coordinate and volunteer for this event. Lastly, their final PBIS assembly took place on Monday, June 22nd, where they featured the character trait Being Yourself. They also had a K-2 and a 3-5 assembly featuring musical artist Brian Chevalier. This assembly was a wonderful way to wrap up their PBIS activities for the school year.
Thank you.
So we would like to continue with the Pride this month. One of the things I want to highlight is the Student Superintendent Advisory Council over at Ralph R. Smith. This is just highlighting a project that they actually took upon themselves to continue to ensure that our youngest readers are still excited about reading, and they also want to explore teaching as a potential profession when they get older. So the two students to my right are two students from 5th graders from Ralph R. And we actually had a literacy project that they actually created and wanted to present to the students in a kindergarten classroom. So I just want to give them a shout out. We'll be recognizing all the students that participated in the Student Advisory Council this year during their moving up ceremonies. But this was a really exciting time for them. They were beaming with joy, and just want to thank Mr. Darling for his support and the teachers that supported us as well. The next one is book donation. Want to thank the Rotary. So over the past several years, they have been supporting the district with dictionaries. Up until last year, we were sharing with them that our literacy wildly important goal was to increase proficiency, and they really wanted to see how they can best support our goals for the year. So starting last year, the committee facilitated by Dave Stewart, they actually looked at other ways that they can continue to support us. So they kept the dictionaries, but then they included various books for our students to be able to take home and read. And this year, they expanded it even further. And I want to thank Jen Kreiser, Amy, who really worked with the teachers in the 3rd grade classes across our elementary schools. And I want to thank our teachers for just supporting us in this literacy initiative. The students were very grateful for receiving the books, and this group of volunteers, they love what they do. They love giving back to the community, and the Rotary does exceptional work, and I'm proud to be one of their members. The next one, point of pride, is just highlighting our seniors. This is a very big week for them, and last week they had, as was noted, they had an opportunity to visit all of our elementary school students, and they were greeted with cheers and praise, and just want to say thank you for being the leaders that you exhibited, and continue to do great things above and beyond their time here at FDR. I also want to give a thanks to Mrs. Hickey's class here at FDR. They invited me to participate in their Odyssey game day. And again, I mentioned this during my last superintendent's report, but I wanted to just show you the amount of dedication and time that they devoted into creating these games, project-based learning taking place, and the students were teaching each other complex themes and concepts in a fun way, and it was just a joy to be around them during this time. And next, I will pass it over to President Zagorski.
Okay. I'm going to go to the podium. You want to come up there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, our first award here is to recognize Giovanni Rivera. Is Giovanni here?
He's in the senior trip.
Senior trip, okay. So this is in recognition of your high participation in the Code of Conduct Committee and school events. The Board of Education thanks you. Your efforts contributed toward our goal of making the district and community an innovative learning environment for all. So thank you, Giovanni. The next award goes to Lauren, who is our ex officio student board member. Thank you for your service and participation on the Hyde Park Central School District Board of Education. And our next award goes to Mr. Michael Tibbetts for serving as Board of Education trustee 2020 through 2026. Hyde Park Central School District, thank you for your service and dedication to our students and district.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ryan Judge, the Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources and Professional Development. And today we gather to celebrate a milestone that reflects years of dedication, growth, and unwavering commitment to our students, the achievement of tenure for 28 candidates this year. This honor represents not only professional excellence, but the countless moments, big and small, that shape the lives of young people every day. Tenure is earned through resilience, creativity, and a deep belief in the mission of public education. It is a recognition of the early mornings, the thoughtful lessons, the patient guidance, and the steady presence you bring to your classrooms and our school community. FDR once said, "We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future." Each of you being honored tonight embodies that truth. Through your work, you help students discover their strengths, develop their voice, and imagine possibilities they may not yet see for themselves. Today marks the end of your probationary period, but it also marks the beginning of a new chapter, one where your expertise, leadership, and perspective will continue to strengthen our district. Your impact is felt not only in academic growth, but in confidence built, challenges overcome, and futures shaped. Congratulations on this well-earned achievement. Thank you for your dedication, your passion, and the difference you make every single day. So I know not all 28 folks being recognized tonight are able to make it, but regardless of their attendance, when I state their name and their position, let's please give them a well-deserved round of applause. And if you are in the audience, please do come up and accept a small token of our appreciation. Paige R. Curry, Elementary Education. Drisana Boyce, School Counselor. Sean Christensen, Technology Education. Casey Cullen, Elementary Education. Matthew Darling, Principal. Congrats. Lisa Decker, Science Education. No running in the halls. Tracy Farrell, Elementary Education. Devin Gano, Family and Consumer Sciences Education. Nicholas Gilbert, English Education. Matt Guarnacia, I mess it up every time. Mr. G, as we know him, Social Studies Education. Emma Herron, Special Education. Brianna Hargrove, Special Education. Mary Lewis, Special Education. Christina Longatano, Special Education. Meredith Millen, School Psychologist. Kate Morgan, Library Media Specialist. Nadia Mulvihill, Special Education. Joanna Murphy, Director of Special Education. Rita Musa, Teaching Assistant. Kayla O'Grady, Special Education. Danielle Reed, Art Education. Melissa Reeder, Director of Guidance. Jacqueline Smith, Special Education. Tyler Turner, Special Education. Deborah Tuttle, Teaching Assistant. Tiffany Walton Henry, Assistant Principal. Dara Wilder, Teaching Assistant. And last but not least, Anaya Williams, Teaching Assistant. We would like to sincerely thank these 28 individuals for their dedication to the district, and we hope that they continue to call Hyde Park their home for the rest of their career. Mr. President, at this time, I would like to request a 15-minute recess so that we can celebrate tonight's honorees.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you. Please join me in the lobby for some refreshments and a fun photo booth, and then we'll come back to our meeting in about 15 minutes. Congrats, everyone.
Move on to, Bobby, are we good? Sorry. Okay, sorry I didn't ask. Moving on to 7.1, our superintendent's report.
So just have a couple of items to report out on. First and foremost, I want to thank the Hyde Park Police Department, our FBI partners, as well as state troopers. This afternoon, we did send a notice out to families, and just want to share that through their partnership, we feel confident that there are no credible threats to our school district, and they will be providing support throughout the week regarding a general threat that we received. So once again, just want to say thank you to their partnership, because now we're able to move forward with all the events that we have planned to celebrate our students this week. The second thing I want to just highlight is I want to send a special thanks to all of our faculty and staff for supporting our students. This week we get a chance to celebrate all of our learners, whether it's a moving up ceremony, graduation, but it doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen with one person. It's a collective with families and our schools, support staff, faculty, administrators, our Board of Education. So just want to say thank you to everyone who has contributed to this week's celebrations. And then lastly, just want to say thank you again to Lauren for her year of board leadership as a student, and she's participated in numerous extracurricular activities, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. I know you're going to do some amazing things, so thank you. That concludes my items, President.
Okay, thank you. At this time, can I get a motion to enter public participation?
So moved, Christine.
I think Margaret seconded it. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So a total of 3 minutes per speaker for a total of 21 minutes will be allotted for the first segment of public participation on the agenda, and for the second segment, a total of 3 minutes per speaker for a total of 12 minutes. This segment of time may be modified by the board as appropriate. We ask that all comments be respectful and courteous of all. Please provide your name and address when you reach the podium, and I'll give you like a 10-second warning before 3 minutes, and when your time is up at 3 minutes. Would anyone like to address the board?
Cheryl Fraser Woods, 5 Windsor Court, 12601. Okay. I just want to point out a couple of things. Teachers' out-of-pocket classroom supplies cost average between $500 and $900 annually, the money that they put out themselves. And one of the reasons I bring that up is that the cost of our catering over the last 3 years have increased dramatically. So in 2023 to 2024, the district paid out in outside catering $38,864.52 in catering. In 2024 to 2025, that cost rose to $74,302.77. Again, that's $74,302.77 for catering. In 2025 to 2026, this current year, the amount is currently at $52,427. I want to point out that our teaching assistant starting salaries are $23,876. Our teacher's aide starting salary, actually not starting, at step 3, a teacher's aide who is at step 3 makes $23,000.75. I really think that our spending needs to get under control. These costs, I think, are just astronomical, and I would like to find out what the district would like to do about that in terms of these high external costs. Also, I would like to find out how much was saved with all the reductions in positions. And last but least, has the superintendent waived tuition for any of our out-of-district students in the last 3 years? Thank you.
Would anyone else like to address the board? Okay, at this time, we'll close public participation. So I'm not familiar with any of these numbers. Okay.
So first and foremost, just so that the board is aware, the board has a policy of providing meals and refreshments during meetings that take place during a working lunch period or evening meals. So we have numerous groups that participate in those. We ask volunteers to come in during evening, whether it's a district leadership team meeting or if it's all admin meetings that we have, so that we leverage all the time available to be with administrators. Those are times where meals are provided. All of those follow a strict auditing process whereby our auditors seek for sign-in sheets. They also seek agendas, and so we provide all of those to our business office. In terms of, I'm curious to know, what was expended before, because it seems like it took place during the time I was a superintendent. But what I can share with you is, moving forward, one of the things that we have done is we have eliminated all admin meetings in person, because that was one of our cost reduction strategies. So now, instead of admin meeting in person, we're actually going to be meeting virtually for less time, which will eliminate any meals during that time. In addition, I firmly believe that the work that we do with our volunteers and our community stakeholders that come in during their time in the evenings to help us support the mission and vision of the school district, I think that that's what this board wants. This board wants to have stakeholders involved, and we're asking them to come in during evening hours, during times that they are away from their families, to do work that we are asking their input on, and to ask them to weigh in to help shape the district as we move forward. So I think that that's something that we would want to continue as a district and as a board. In terms of meals, we've also put restrictions moving forward for any administrator who is purchasing or requesting to purchase a meal for any kind of meetings. We've put strict guidelines around that for this upcoming school year as a cost-saving strategy, and we'll continue to monitor that. We know that that's an area that prior to this inquiry, we had already had a plan laid out. So we're doing everything that we need to do to follow, number one, board policy, number two, auditing procedures. So I feel confident if anyone was to ask about those things, it would have been addressed by our external or internal auditors way before this meeting, and we'll continue to do what we need to do in terms of what is right for our district. In terms of the reduction in position, we can certainly get that information, and Mrs. Fraser-Woods, we can certainly get that information to you in terms of the budget presentation. We just weren't ready to provide that for you this evening. In terms of tuition waived, no, that has not been waived for any individual for the past 3 years or even beyond that.
Could I just?
I don't think you have the authority to waive that. If it were to be a violation of policy and be waived, that would be a board decision
Right.
to do. And the board certainly has not waived any tuition.
Going back to the catering topic, I would be interested in seeing what the catering costs were for the 2 years prior to that, because in my perspective was, and the feedback I've gotten, is that people have made a lot of comments that they're not allowed to purchase catering meals like they used to prior to 2023. The first 2 years that I was here, it was a question I had, because there was kind of carte blanche on what you ordered. So if we're going to look back 3 years, I'd like to look back to the 2 previous years to see, because my experience was that we were spending a lot more than that. So I just want to get a full perspective.
This number is not just the pizza that we get during our meetings. This
No.
is the overall catering.
Right,
District-wide.
district-wide, and that's some of the feedback I've gotten from people who go to meetings. Oh, we used to get this, and now we can't get that. I'm not at those meetings, so I don't know. I'm just saying that's some of the feedback that I've gotten.
Just to provide some perspective, $70,000 is 7/100ths of 1% of our budget. It's 7/100ths of 1% of our budget.
Okay, any other comments?
I think it would just be helpful. It's still a big number, so some kind of breakdown just to give the board more context of, how many people, how many meetings. I think that would be helpful just for transparency. That would help.
Any other comments? Okay. Moving on to 9.1, board subcommittee reports and professional development updates. Any committees meet?
Policy met last week. Interestingly enough, half of the agenda was school board procedures and rules and regulations and operations there. Nothing really out of the ordinary, but the last item was 90-20 cleanup on the verbiage that everybody objected to when it first came out. So you can now take your neighbor's kids home for practice and talk to them.
Any other committees?
Dutchess County School Boards met for the end of the year meeting and so forth, and we met in Poughkeepsie and discussed goals for next year. I mentioned I was very honored to serve as the president the last 2 years. In our agreements, somebody can serve for 2 years and then it rotates, so it's going to go on to somebody else. This time I said not it, quicker. But we had a nice meeting. We talked about goals coming up for next year and things we're going to advocate for.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? So on the topic of professional development, we do get a budget for that, and requests for professional development come to me for approval. And the last one that came through, which would be applied to next year, but when we looked at the budget line, there was only like $2 left in it, which is good because it's right on the money. But what I'm going to propose for next school year, fiscal year, is that we look at that budget so everybody gets a fair and equal chance to request PD. And it's not all monopolized by Carl, right? I think we need to do that, because if somebody wanted to do something last month, I would have had to say no because there's no money in the budget. So I just want to see, as a board, we should see that going forward, the rolling, who's doing PD. And we have an agenda item that says professional development updates. That's where we can review that to say, this is what we're going to look at. This is, where people are going, and this is the money we're spending, and this is how much we have left in the budget. So everybody has a sense of what the budget is when we make the requests, right? So, yeah, that's kind of what I propose for the next, and this agenda item that's already there, make it a little more meaningful and put that in there, because for professional development updates, we typically don't have much to say in there, so. All right, moving on to board discussion, including consent agenda items. Any board discussion, consent agenda?
I have a couple. Sorry. This is for, I think, more for Tanya. Just for my clarification, so the claim auditors reports, I've been noticing every month there's around 40 to 44 exceptions. And so my question is that typical? Because I've looked at it back through it, and it's usually 48, 58, 60, 54, so in that area. But is that for a school district, is that normal? Is that high? Is that a number that we should see with internal training? Should we see that number decrease?
I would say the majority of those exceptions are confirming POs, and that is a PO that is issued after the purchase is made. So that is an internal process that we need to work on in our new year of purchasing. It would be right. So I would say there's a good amount of confirming POs, and that's something that we're looking at, definitely, putting new internal controls around that.
So that would decrease once we do
Yes,
that.
there is communication at the administrative council meeting regarding this report, so Dr. Roman has put that on the agenda, this report, to talk to the administrators about that.
Okay, thank you. And then there was just a H&W, I'm sorry, I don't have the number, City of Albany, because we have a student that goes to Albany, is that? I guess
That's correct.
Because I've never seen that before. So it's just one student though, right? Okay, so we have to pay for all of their
Health
expenses.
and welfare expenses, yes.
Health and welfare expenses, okay. And I think that's it for me.
Okay, anybody else? I have a couple of things. So if you notice in the consent agenda, there were 4 items related to reserve funds, which I understand, but I asked Dr. Roman at one of our next meetings if we can have a small presentation about the whole reserve fund structure and the movements and the tax certiorari, why we close them and, do that so the public could see why we move these funds around and, kind of make a little more sense out of it. And I think you agreed that that's a good idea to do. The other thing is Dr. Roman, myself, and Margaret have met with the new Board of Education committee that we talked about last time. So if you recall, there were 4 candidates running for the student board member, all really eager, willing to serve individuals. And we came up with this concept of, having a committee to support Imran. He was elected, so now there's 3 other people. So we met with them to try to look at the structure, what are their, goals of the committee and what are they going to do. So they're going to meet over the summer. We spelled out some guidelines for them to do, and they're going to come up with, kind of how they want to see the committee go and report in and things like that. So it's a pilot program that we're doing to kind of test it out to get more kids involved in the process. They won't speak at a board meeting, they won't sit at the table, but they will be recognized that they're part of this committee. And hopefully, if it's successful, I recommended that they author a joint paper that we could publish in the NISBA, whatever that annual or monthly newsletter that they have. So that was the other thing. The other thing I want to address, is somebody sent me an email with something swirling around on social media, calling into question my commitment to the board, that I missed a lot of stuff. So I asked Jay to pull our attendance reports, and just so I want to let the public know. And I don't post on social media, so I figured if the public is going to know, I will bring it up in public here about what we do. So the attendance for the 20, including up through today. So we got Katie, who missed 5 meetings. And listen, I just want to say that it's okay to miss meetings, right? But, somebody's posting things on social media calling in to question my commitment to the board. I just want to make sure people understand that it's okay to miss meetings. We're all volunteers. We have work commitments. We have personal issues that we have to deal with. We have a lot of other issues. The expectation is that we make as many as we can. But, people slinging around falsehoods kind of, gets at me, and I want to make sure people have the facts. So again, Katie, including tonight, she's out 5 times, Christine 1, Ed 8, Margaret 0, Tibbetts 2, Carl 7, and myself is 1, and Lauren 2. So nothing crazy in here. This is what we do, right? This is a volunteer organization. So again, if people are online slinging falsehoods, it's very easy to find the facts before people say things that aren't true. So I just wanted to bring that up tonight.
Can I go back to the student board rep
Yes.
committee? I just wanted to publicly thank those students. They had said before the election that they'd be interested, but sometimes people change their mind when they don't get elected. They get, they're sour grapes. There was none of that. These 3 students came, they're committed, and I just want the public to know that the goal is we want a more direct line students to Board of Ed, so we can find out what's going on in the schools. They're really excited, they have great ideas, and so I just wanted to give them credit, that even though they didn't win an election, they're like, we still want to be a part of this, we want to help, and so I really want to publicly thank them, and I'm looking forward to working with them.
Yep, that's a great group.
Could I just add for a second? Just in regard to attendance, just to clarify, again, just to mention, in my case, the Dutchess County School Boards are scheduled, and I've asked them to fix this, the same nights as our meetings. So 5 times out of those 8, I was at that meeting. So just to put it in that context, there's got to be a way to fix this. I don't know why this is so hard. Like BOCES and the districts get together and pick a night where there's a night for Dutchess County School Boards where the districts don't meet. I don't know why it's so difficult. I've been asking for it, but just to put that in context. And then just one other thing about Dutchess County BOCES, they do a great job. I attended the BOCES graduation recently, and very impressed with what they did. My suggestion would be, I saw a lot of board members from other districts. I don't know if it's necessarily a policy in their district, but you saw the kids coming from District X, Y, and Z and seeing their board member there, and at the same time I heard some kids saying, well, this is just a BOCES graduation. So I really think we should think about make it a commitment. When I worked in Orange County as an administrator, we always sent somebody to the BOCES graduation. I think we should really think about that because it really makes the kids feel like, hey, this is special. This isn't just a BOCES graduation. Just to think about.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. Do they invite the Dutchess board members? Do they invite anybody?
So, Mr. President, I'm not sure. Did you receive an invitation?
No. Yeah, did we receive that?
Jody actually said that they try to reserve the attendance to the families and of the participants because there's only so much room, and she specifically said she did not extend the invitation out to all the boards.
No, I mean, you could see if there's room, you send us an invite, and we could certainly send somebody.
Well,
Yeah, it was a civic center. There was plenty of room.
Well,
That was her
well,
comment.
and also, is there district representation, right? They don't know who we are, and I would be happy to go, but if there's administrators like from FDR who go to represent the district, that's important too. As long as Hyde Park is represented, that's what we would want, but I certainly am not going to go to a graduation that I'm not invited to.
yeah, yeah, unless I had somebody graduating. So. All right, so can I get a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda?
So moved,
Margaret.
Christine?
Second, Carl.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Just so you know, on these things, we can only have, I think, 3 active, so if mine's on or something, so that's why the red light doesn't come on, so I'll try to remember to push mine off for the couple of other votes we have. Okay, 11.1 is the BARD MAT MOU 2627, and if people notice, we actually moved this out of the consent agenda into new business at Mr. Tibbetts' request, since he is an employee of Bard College, and he does not want to vote either way on this one. So can I get a motion for 11.1?
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? 1 abstention. Motion carried. 12.1, can I get a motion to enter our second public participation?
So moved, Christine.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Same rules apply, except this time the total is 12 minutes. I'll give you a heads up at 10 seconds before 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Gully Stanford, 181 Marshall Road in Salt Point. Returning after far too many absences, and I apologize for that, but happily your final meeting of the year to congratulate you on what I think has been a banner year for the Hyde Park schools. And of course I need to avoid, Mr. Judge is checking on my attendance, I need to avoid any impression of chronic absenteeism on my part. So three sorts of things. First, I have the honor to be your representative on the BOCES board, and we so appreciate Hyde Park Schools, the fact that you are truly our number one client, and we hope that we provide satisfaction to the district in the many ways that you take advantage and your partnership with it. I thought you might enjoy a little statistic. Yes, indeed, we had the graduation of 385 students at the Career Technical Institute. Delighted that Trustee Spence could be there as a parent, and absolutely, Mr. President, we will look into how we can be sure that any components who would like to have representation should have it there. Of the 385, 71 were Hyde Park students. That is something in the region of 18%. And yet, if you look at the Arwada, the attendance, your 3,407 students are just under 10% of the students in Dutchess County. So you have doubled the success rate and the participation rate, and we greatly appreciate that, particularly in light of the portrait of a graduate and your portrait of a leader, portrait of a student, as they acquire those skills and characteristics to succeed. So I thought I'd just share with you, Mr. President, this is the report, the program from both that evening and also our scholarship evening, where you'll see that Hyde Park students won many scholarships, moving on either to post-secondary or to the military or into the workforce. Secondly, as a resident, it's a great privilege to serve on one of your volunteer committees. And I've had the honor of sitting in on the district leadership committee, and I just wanted to say how much I appreciate that, what you do for community members, bringing them to the table, at least giving the impression of listening to them. Actually, sorry, you do a wonderful job of engaging us. Dr. Roman runs us through really some very, very productive exercises there. I'm particularly impressed by your engagement with community schools right now. And with the last 10 seconds, I can say, as a lover of the arts and as a neighbor, I got here in time to get my own personal condensed version of the Rachmaninoff piano concerto from the star Ronan Pemberton, and I'm very grateful for that and will never forget the experience. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Cheryl Fraser Woods, 5 Windsor Court, 12601. Thank you, Mr. Tibbetts, for that information regarding the stats regarding the budget. My point in bringing up the cost of the external catering has nothing to do with the fact that that is 1% of the budget. I'm bringing it up that our teachers are putting out of their pockets $500 to $900 annually to make sure that they have supplies for their students. I'm bringing up that our teaching assistants are paid low. Their salaries are low. Our monitors are low. And the reason why the information for the 3 years I requested is because it's under this superintendent that we're having layoffs. And so I'm not interested in what took place under another superintendent. I wanted to talk about what's going on now, because there are people who will be out of jobs. And if we're going to spend $74,000 on catering and there are going to be people out of jobs, that's something the board needs to think about. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to address the board? Okay, at this time, we'll close public participation. Yeah, I don't have anything to respond. Yeah.
So just to Gully's point, I just want to recognize that during the recognition evening, we did have a Board of Education meeting that evening, and that's the reason why many of us were unable to participate. So thank you for sharing that, and just want to let you know that was the case, that we were unable to participate and seeing our students across the stage there. In terms of the budget, I think it's important to note that each year there are new budget assumptions that we have to consider. Every budget season is not the same budget season. Our budgetary constraints prior to 2022, 2023, we had an extraordinary increase in federal aid in the area of almost an additional $8 million. So at that time, I actually looked at the district stats, and I was curious to know why we had hired so many individuals during those years. And it had a lot to do with the federal stimulus funds. Since then, budget assumptions have changed, budget climate has changed. We have received less in terms of state aid. That's the reason why we were in the situation we were this year. And as a result, we have pivoted along the way so that we can respond to that, while at the same time not increasing the tax cap beyond where we are. We actually went below for a second year in a row. We haven't done that previously, where we are actually under the tax cap. Prior to that, we were going up until the tax cap. And so I think that those are really key things to know. It does provide somewhat of a relief to our taxpayers, because that was one of our budget drivers, that we keep the taxpayers in mind. Additionally, we had to do several reduction mitigation strategies, which, again, we took all the expenditures into account. We did a zero-based budget approach this year, and we're confident that we're going to continue to do strategic reductions as we move forward. And yes, it is a very difficult decision when people are impacted, but when we looked at the number, the gap that we had to close, that was a pretty significant number, upwards of almost $10 million. So I feel good that, unfortunately, I feel good that we were able to close that gap. That we had to make some tough decisions, but when you compare our district to other districts where they actually had to lose upwards up to 70 staff members, I'm confident that we made the best decisions for our community. Thank you.
I just want to add to that is I think we were pretty fiscally responsible during the influx of pandemic money and didn't go on a complete hiring spree. I know we overhired, which many organizations did, including in the private sector. That's why you see in the private sector there's a lot of reductions, because there was tremendous amounts of overhiring during pandemic. And we are in a pretty good shape. You know, I know, yes, it's unfortunate we have to make some cuts, but I think we are a lot better off than some other organizations. And I do want to comment on the salary, just so you know, that's under negotiations, right? So we meet every couple of years with the unions and we negotiate salaries. It's not something that the board certainly doesn't set an arbitrary number for people's salaries. These are in contracts, they're in the union contracts, and again, they're subject to negotiations every couple of years whenever we do the negotiation. All right, moving on to other.
Could I just add one thing?
Sure.
So I completely agree that, there's a certain amount of time that's saved when you're going to buy something. Like Mr. Zagorski said tonight, we had a slice of pizza and some water. That's a time saver because we were working, we were discussing, and so forth. But to that point, I understand what Ms. Fraser Wood said. $72,000 seems like a lot of pizza. So if we could just, get a breakdown, I think that would be helpful.
But again, it's not only our.
Oh, I know, I
right,
know.
It's district-wide for over 1,000 employees.
I know,
right?
I understand, but, where I came from when I was an administrator across the river, everybody had to buy their own food for everything. So I came from a different world, and that sort of thing. So I just would like to look at this. If it helps in any way for the board, I'd be happy to pack my own bologna sandwich or something, but.
And I think Dr. Roman said, there's significant changes that have already
Oh,
been
indeed.
instituted in the budget to address this. Like, the administrators' meeting is virtual, so there's going to be no more breakfast, lunch for that, right? So prior to this discussion, there's been many actions through this budget cycle that have addressed things like that to try
Yes,
to
and I agree, and
cut
I
things
think, and
out.
I hope we're headed in the right direction. I would just say, sometimes when I'm talking to my kids, they'll say, well, it's only this much, or it's only this much, and that's where things add up, and before you know it, things are out of control. So if we could just get that data, I think it'd be helpful.
Okay, and let's see. So no other matters deemed necessary by the board? Nobody had anything to bring up?
I just wanted to say again, to congratulate Mr. Tibbetts for his service. I wasn't at the last board. We did say this earlier, but I think, serving on the board is a very big commitment of time and energy. I don't think a lot of the outside community really realizes it until you become a board member. So I want to thank him again for his service, for his opinions, for speaking up, giving his opinions. I think that's one of the most important things that board members could do. So I just wanted to say thank you again for his service.
Anything else? All right. Could I get a motion to appoint Mr. Tibbetts as the clerk pro tem for the remainder of the board meeting? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Could I get a motion to enter executive session for the purpose of discussing personnel matters?
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We're now in executive session.